Howdy! Merry Christmas.
I swear to God, he does this on purpose. Of course he does. Hi, guys. He is such an ass. Oh, I cannot even repeat what he just said, so. But he does it to me on purpose, I swear. He makes me laugh. Okay.
Stockings
To
are
get
hanging.
centered. Pardon me?
Stockings are hanging just a...
Yes, they are. Stockings are hanging. And we have power.
Yay!
We were very fortunate. Power popped out last night and was only out for about half hour, 45 minutes, I think, at the most. And it came back on. It was just in time to get all the candles lit, get a fire going, and bloop, the lights came back on. And it took us about half hour to decide whether or not we want to turn them back on, because we had such a nice ambiance, atmosphere going in the house. But it was a little bit dark. It was a little dark. But we are warm. We are toasty. We have our plenty. Everybody has done their Christmas shopping. The stockings are hung upstairs. Christmas tree is lit.
And if you look down, you can actually see the stockings are on your stream too.
They are. I saw that. And there's one of them, little mittens. We decided that we were going to go live today. It's going to be a short one. It's not going to be 3 hours, but we are going to paint a little bit, do a couple of little tags. I'm going to show you how to paint this little snowman lollipop because he's so freaking cute. I had so much fun doing him. And this mitten surface is flippin' awesome. It's just different. It's unique. I loved it. I got a great little gift from my friend Karen at Southern Ridge Trading, and she sent me a couple of these for me to play on. And then I thought they were so stinking cute that I ordered a few because I wasn't sure how many I was going to need. And obviously I didn't order anywhere near enough. So I had to send her another order. So we have snowflakes coming. We have mittens coming. We have a bunch of stuff coming. So that will be, of course, probably late next week or into the earliest part of the new year. But we will have stuff coming. It's going to be a busy afternoon. We're going to do this live today. And then it's preparations for our traditional evening meal here for Christmas, which is, it's all finger food, but it's a lot of fun and a lot of work to get it prepared. But that's on my agenda today. But wanted to take a couple of hours and just spend a little time with you guys, take a breath, because it's been a hectic few weeks leading up to this holiday. It always is. So we're going to start with a Happy Mail, because I got a Happy Mail this week, and a bunch of you guys are going to be getting some of that Happy Mail. I still think he's funny to look at him. The stickers that I talked about last week or the week before finally came in, so I've been sending those out all week. So they're going to start popping up in various packages. I finally got a zombie cookie sticker. He's so homely. He's cute. I fell in love with him. Anyway, so I've been sending those out with a variety of orders. So some of you are going to get these. They're a hoot and a half. So that was Happy Mail. And Christmas cards. Oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. Every day this week when I've gone to the mailbox, there has been Christmas cards galore. And so there's a stack in the entryway that, you know, everybody flips through when they come home. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate getting those. It's wonderful to see all those Christmas cards. Reminds me of Christmases years ago when every single day you had greetings from family and friends, and it's a wonderful thing. So thank you very much. And what else this week?
Well, you're not going to go over your Happy Mail?
Well, that was my Happy Mail.
What about the purse?
Right.
The purse.
I don't know where I put it.
I think I know where it is.
Do you know where it is? I got a purse. I got a parcel this week from my girl Veronica at FM Brush, at Dynasty Brush. They sent me a beautiful handbag for Christmas. Well, Miss V did. Miss V is very thoughtful, very sweet. And she sent me this amazing bag. But I'm not sure where I put it. I put it someplace safe. Let's put it that way. So I have this beautiful skull purse. It's incredible. Um, did you find it? Oh, you walked right past it.
Walked right past it.
Yeah. This thing is flippin' awesome. So my girl Veronica at Dynasty Brush sent me this handbag. Check this out. Is that not awesome? I love it. It's a Betsy Johnson handbag. It's flippin' amazing. So apparently she bought one for herself so we could be twinsies. So yeah. So it's been an interesting week. Lots and lots of Christmas cards is wonderful. I've been painting like a madwoman for some unknown reason and playing with my colored pencils. I had way too much fun with my colored pencils this week. So I finished off the piece that I was working on, the teacup and the coffee cup and the grapes. It's one of those ones that's sort of been sitting there for a while, tormenting me, and I wanted to get it finished this week. I love it. I love the way it turned out. There's a lot of things that I would change, obviously, because you always see things after the fact. So there are a few things that I would change if I were to do it again. But it got me painting with my pencils a bit more this week. And so yesterday I started another one. So the one I'm doing now is a yellow daisy in a glass vase. It's a design by Marion Jackson. I've also had that one sitting on my work table for quite a while that I've been wanting to do. So I'm taking a little time over these holidays to sit down and play with my pencils. So that's what I've been doing. And Super Chat. You might notice that in our header for the Super Chat on the YouTube channel and stars on Facebook, those donations that people make through Super Chat, super stickers, and through the stars on Facebook, those monies are directed towards our local SPCA chapter. So it is a charity that's very dear to our family in general because we love animals. To Renee in particular because he is an ardent defender of the canine variety. He is a huge fan.
Absolute ardent?
Ardent.
Ardent.
It's a good word.
It's a good word.
Yeah.
Defender of the canine family.
Yeah. That's
including hyenas.
Yeah.
I think they're cool.
So I thought it behooved us to see just how much we had generated over the last year. That would be from January of this year until the end of November of this year was $980.56 in Super Chat.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty great. So we've got, after the holiday, we've got a little bit of cash set aside to go do a little bit of shopping for the puppers, and we're going to stock up on some toys and some kitty litter and some kibble and whatever we can get. But I would like to see that $980.56 translate into at least an even thousand. I'd like to see that. So we've been making, the cash donations on the regular, but we've been setting a little cash aside as well so that we could do a big shopping spree in the new year. So that's what Renee and I have planned for January, is to take some of those funds and go buy a whole bunch of goodies for our local shelter. They've had a great,
wink, nudge, nudge. There might be a video involved.
There might be video involved. Our local SPCA shelter, the one in Oromocto, which is a little town, it's just outside the military facility here. The SPCA shelter there for the month of December had 17 new additions to the shelter in dogs, and 87 cats and kittens.
Yeah.
And here we are, Christmas Eve. They have found permanent forever homes for 16 of the 17 dogs. and 82 of the 87 cats. So they have been, this small shelter has been very diligent in securing placement for those animals, which I think is just remarkable, but they don't do it without a tremendous amount of assistance. So hopefully we can take a little of that pressure off. And that's what our plan is to go and give them a nice little boost in the new year.
That did it.
What
Sue
did
Potts just broke the $1,000.
Oh, of course she did. Sue, you have been one of our most diligent and generous supporters for this particular thing. So I want to say thank you to you in particular, because you have been remarkable and unfailing, and we can't thank you enough. And it was also Sue that had posted that question last week that we somehow missed in the questions, what we had raised over the year. And then I thought, well, that's a good idea. So we'll go, and it took a few minutes. We would just load it onto our channel to find out just exactly how much we had generated. So it was a nice surprise. It was
we're
almost
officially over the $1,000 mark.
Yep, we're officially over the $1,000 mark.
Yay!
So that's great. It's a good way
for the puppers and kitties.
Yes, that's the plan. So we're going to go get some more goodies for them. We're going to play just with tags today. Have a little bit of fun. This is not going to be our usual 2.5 hour. We're just going to relax and have some fun and talk about some of the techniques that we're going to use for this piece and for the tags, and what you can do to substitute and as alternates if you can't get the wood surface, or if you don't have chipboard or whatever. It does not have to go on exactly the piece that I have. You can use your imagination and do all sorts of fun stuff with it. So that is what we're going to do today. Play with some Christmas tags. Yay! And just have a little fun with it. So I'm going to sip my tea, and Renee's going to flip that camera down because I'm ready to get started.
Right on. Here we go.
Almost time to change the message on my mug.
What's that one say?
Love it. Renee's been playing with the graphics. It says do something creative every day.
Oh, yeah. Needs a new message. Mine needs something on it now.
Yeah. Is yours falling on?
Yeah. Dishwasher takes care of it.
Yeah. I wanted to put go away and come back with tacos on it.
But it already said that. It said come back with tacos.
Yeah, but it didn't say go away.
You know what? I want one for the bottom of the mug that says go away.
Okay. Leave me alone.
If you can read this, back away slowly.
Yeah. I want a pair of those socks that says, if you can read this, go get me a glass of wine. So this little guy is surprisingly simple. I think he's really cute. I was playing with sort of a lollipop design, and he just sort of came together. I did make some adjustments. Initially, he had, the very traditional little scarf around his neck, and I thought it'd be fun that this little snowman comes from Manitoba, so we moved the scarf up a little bit.
Out of necessity.
Out of necessity. So that only his eyeballs and his nose are showing. So I thought he would be a fun little holiday piece. And then, of course, I put him on this cute little surface from Southern Ridge. Karen is she's remarkable. She comes up with some really fun, unique ideas. And because she works or has worked primarily in the paper crafting industry, everything tends to be a little small. And then along comes me and Deb, and then we have to tell her that, can you make this bigger? So she makes it bigger, and they're super, super cute. Her stuff is just flippin' awesome. So I'm going to show you how to paint this little guy, because he's cute. I think he's just cute. So we have a mitten.
Base coated white.
And it's just got one coat of gesso on it.
Oh, gesso.
Yeah, well, it's MDF, right? So it gets a little rough when you hit it with wet paint. So it needed a little bit of surface prep. So I put a coat of gesso on there, give it a light sanding. We're going to take a little bit of warm white and a little bit of water. You want some water in there to get this paint moving.
Okay, I missed a bunch here.
Okay.
So Sue Potts donated $25. Awesome.
Awesome sauce.
N.M. Burling donated $30. Says Merry Christmas to the furry friends.
Oh, nice.
And of course, the amazing Linda Safranco donated $20 as well,
Lovely.
saying, "We are amazing."
Yes, we are amazing.
No, you guys are amazing.
Oh, okay. So I've got a very slip-slap, rather juicy coat of warm white on here. When I say juicy, it's because I used a fair amount of water so it stays wet for a little bit. And then I'm going to use a little bit of peacock teal. Kind of obsessed with this teal color lately. So I'm going to take that teal and I'm just going to slap a couple of little patches in here and there. It can be strong in some places, weaker in others. Don't worry about it. It's going to look a little patchy for a bit, and that's okay. And then I'm going to take that dirty brush and pick up a little bit of that warm white. And we're just going to blend these little patches together. I'm using just a cross hatch, so I'm basically making little X's here and there. Neatness doesn't count. Perfection is to be avoided at all costs. Mm-hmm. We are not looking for perfection. All we're looking for is lots of variation. And if you find that your brush is, or the paint isn't moving or it's not blending, just pick up a little more warm white. It's all good. It doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. Look at that. I'm calling that done because you don't need to putz with it that much. So we're going to dry this real quick. I love this.
Lucy says, "What a nice surprise to see Tracy on today." We said we were coming.
Yep.
Won't be a long one.
Won't be a long one, but we are going to have some fun with it. So I'm going to dry this really quick. There we go. And then we're going to do some stenciling to this. Now I chose my my two favorite Snowflake stencils, and you can grab any size polka dot stencil, or not. You don't need to have it, but I'm obsessed with polka dots.
Oh, Robin Storm's here.
Hi, Robin. Hopefully she's healing up well, and hopefully she's got some water. I know she was saying that her water froze.
Oof.
So I'm just popping a few little polka dots on. Like so. I'm not worrying about whether or not they're perfect and everywhere. I don't care. There we go. So I got polka dots. So dry polka dots. And then we're going to put some snowflakes on. Now, the snowflakes obviously are not going to be really terribly obvious because we're working over top of very light colors. So I'm using a little bit of warm white or titanium white, either one, doesn't matter.
Merry Christmas from the deep freeze in Manitoba.
Brr.
Yeah, you can keep that.
Yeah.
I can stay over there.
Yeah. So somebody posted today, it says, "Hey, Canada, you should come get your weather. It's down here. It's drunken in Texas." You're welcome.
Yeah. See what we have to deal with?
All the time.
All the time.
So
Go to Alberta. It's the Texas of Canada.
yeah,
However,
that's normal.
you could see snow in the middle of summer.
Well, I remember seeing snow fly in Winnipeg on the 27th of August.
Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah.
That's normal. But you don't expect it in July.
No.
That's Alberta, by the way.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while. It is Canada.
One thing I've learned from you is perfection is overrated.
It is overrated. So I'm just going to scatter snowflakes all over this surface. all a variety of sizes. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be neat. By the time you're done, it won't matter. Look at that.
Oh, there we go. Luis Long donated $15 and says, love what you both do for the puppers.
Aw. Well, thank you. It's also what you do by making those donations, and we appreciate it. So there we go. I'm going to switch to a different snowflake stencil because I want a different pattern. I just like the variation that I get from this. So there we go. So the idea being is just to fill up this space with snowflakes. They don't have to be perfect. They don't even have to be obvious.
Being in Texas, I personally thank you for blowing your cold weather down to us. I much prefer to run the heater at Christmas than the AC. Thank you. Don't thank us. It just happens.
It just happens. We didn't plan it that way.
Right now, our we're not going to have a brown Christmas, thankfully.
Thankfully, yeah.
Enough of the snow stayed, but now it's all ice.
Yeah. We had rain and freezing rain with that storm. Yeah. And now it's offshore. It's heading to Newfoundland, so God only knows what those poor buggers are getting.
To them, it's normal.
Yeah. The big thing here was the storm surge. I guess some areas in Long Island saw some flooding yesterday. The ocean decided to come join them for the holidays. So I pretty much have what I want. I wanted lots of snow in there, just creating a little texture back there. I love this stencil for a couple of reasons. One, it has some really pretty snowflakes, but it also has these nice little tiny ones that you can tuck into places just to add a little texture and a little more pattern in places. Those little ones can use up negative space quite effectively. And I think I'm good. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to make sure this is good and dry.
Oh. Linda being Linda. What are the prizes today?
Yes. Well, you know what? Because it's Christmas, I was feeling a little more generous today.
Can only imagine.
So inside each of those, there's 3 of them.
Holy.
Yeah, there's some heft there. I did put a pattern in.
There's a pattern in here?
There's a pattern in there.
A printed pattern?
A printed pattern.
Is it available on your website?
It is.
It is? Okay.
Yes.
So they can...
it's festive in nature.
Festive.
So there's a printed pattern in there. But because it's Christmas and everybody likes to paint gnomes and Santa Clauses and they do all of these beards and Christmas trees, the brush set is a Dynasty Faux Squirrel texture set. Black gold texture set.
Black gold.
So it has a fandango for doing beards and whiskers. It has a beautiful rake for doing hair and fine textures. It has a nice big fountain brush for doing a variety of things. And it also has a nice flat wave brush in there. So there's a beautiful 5-brush set of Dynasty Black Gold for texturing.
Cool.
Plus,
Uh-oh.
of course, we're putting one of our little gingerbread cookies stickers in there. And an electric eraser from Mustache.
You guys are making out like bandits.
Yeah. Not to mention, I put other stuff in there.
There's always other goodies.
There's always other little goodies. So, yeah, so it's a nice little giveaway today. And we're going to have some really great ones in the new year, too.
Yes.
So, my shading color for this is this one. It's Mermaid Tail. A color that I basically ignored for the longest time, and I've suddenly just absolutely fallen in love with this color. It's a nice deep dark, but it's very transparent, so you can do all sorts of fun things with it. So we're going to shade the outside edges of our panel here with some Mermaid Tail. I was looking for a nice big brush to do this with because I'm feeling lazy today.
I see how it is.
I spent the better part of yesterday baking. Dad took the last of the...
It's very appreciated.
Well, I made tortilla. I made thumbprint cookies.
Ooh, right. Be right back.
Apparently, I reminded him that there's cookies. I've made shortbread this week. What else did I make yesterday? Oh, I made some more shortbread yesterday, too. Because that doesn't last very long in this house. So far this holiday, I've made 8 dozen shortbread. And there's maybe a dozen left. Maybe. I'd be impressed if there's that much by the end of the day. My great-grandmother's recipe is so good. So I'm just putting a nice little float of that mermaid tail around the outside edge. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just needs to add a little color to the outside edge. A slightly darker value, essentially. And look how fun this is. I love this color. Just love this color. It's so pretty. There we go. Are you happy now?
Hmm?
He has cookies. He's happy. So, I'm going to dry this real quick.
Oh, who's the poor soul stuck in Meaford? Or do you live there?
She lives there.
No. Sorry. Hope you like it. I'm just going to put a cookie in my mouth.
It was Carol, wasn't it?
I didn't see the name.
Yeah. Both my husband and my son have spent more than their fair share of time in Meaford, Ontario. So,
boo. I mean, it's a wonderful place.
just not where you were.
Just not where I was.
It's a training area, military training area, just so you know. We don't want them to get a bad review on Yelp.
A Yelp review on the Canadian Armed Forces.
So there. See, now when I was designing this, I kind of had this in mind. So if I did one mitten like this and I did the other mitten like that, I could put the little snowy guy on this one and the little ginger guy on that one, and then you could string the two together and hang them on a door. I think they'd be so cute. A pair of mittens with a string. It needs to have a string, because otherwise you'll lose your mittens, right?
Oh, Linda's wondering when you'll be getting those mittens back in stock.
I have them ordered.
She needs a few.
They will probably be available in the new year. Shipping times coming from the out west. I'm also looking into, I don't want to step on toes because these were designed by Karen. So I'm going to talk to Karen and find out if, we can find a way for you guys to get these in the U.S.
She's not wrong.
What?
Even if I was stuck in this wonderful place, I have heard stories about pizza deliveries to foxholes. She's not wrong.
Nope.
I've done beer deliveries to foxholes.
Yeah. Once upon a time. So here's the little gingerbread guy. Now I have him on this, but he is scaled so that he fits very nicely on this mitten.
So you're doing the snowman.
I'm doing the snowman, but I just wanted him to. So I have my t'other side. This side. I forgot to do this on this side.
So Barb Brown says, I made your lemon loaf yesterday for my son-in-law.
Yeah.
He has now requested it as his Christmas present.
It is a very good recipe, I will say. There we go.
Is baking her next favorite hobby?
Cooking.
Cooking in general.
Cooking in general, yeah.
You name a Christmas kitchen gadget.
Yeah, I am.
She's probably had it, used it, thrown it away, picked it up again.
Yeah.
She's had tons of Christmas gadgets.
Cooking gadgets. I love to cook. A few years ago, I took a series of masterclass courses with Gordon Ramsay, and it was just,
Worth every penny.
every penny. It was so much fun.
Would you say it improved your cooking?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed it immensely. I think because you learn the whys.
Rather than just doing it because that's how it's always been done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but now you know why.
Yeah, this is why it's done this way. And but I've painted the same way. If you're trying to get an effect, then you do it a certain way, and this is why. I've always believed that if you tell people, explain to people why they're supposed to do things a certain way.
Did Gordon Ramsay yell at you?
No, he did not. He was very kind. I thoroughly enjoyed my master class. I did 2 of them.
No.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed them. And those master classes are not cheap.
No,
they are not, but it was worth every penny. I learned a tremendous.
Still got to do the beef Wellington.
I've already done. Well, I have made that a couple of times.
Yeah, I haven't.
You haven't had it. That's
I have not had it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I haven't had a good one.
Oh, his is.
Yeah. The beef Wellingtons I've had, I've literally taken a bite and gone, nope.
I've made Gordon Ramsay's beef Wellington 3 or 4 times.
But he uses like a premium top sirloin roast, right? No?
Oh, beef tenderloin.
Oh, he uses the tenderloin. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's why.
Yeah.
No sirloin tip here.
No. Beef tenderloin, and as I said, it was worth it. But have you seen the price of beef tenderloin lately?
about that?
When I was doing that masterclass, I ordered a beef tenderloin. It cost me $110. And I cut a roast out for the Wellington, but then I also got like 6 or 8 nice little tenderloin steaks, which was fine. Not something that you have every week, but it's
a very rich meat.
It is very rich. And so you're not talking massive big portions.
No. But it's such a tasty meat.
But it was very good. But it's terrifying to spend that kind of money on something you've never cooked before. So yes, I was making sure that I followed every single direction to the letter because I did not want this.
Have you seen the price of lettuce lately?
Yes.
Ugh.
Well, I priced it. That's why I haven't bought lettuce recently because I'm sorry, I'm not paying $8 for a head of lettuce.
$8 for a head? Mm-hmm. Jeez.
And then the other day, the price, for whatever reason, dramatically came down. I don't know why, but...
Marketing.
Hence the reason I just I bought like 6 heads of lettuce. So we're going to be eating a lot of salads for the next few days.
Oh.
Which is fine. I'm good with it. So.
You may have to share your famous Kahlua cake, Linda. Kahlua cake?
Kahlua cake. That'd be so good.
Kahlua cake?
Kahlua cake.
Nuts and bolts sound like a yummy snack. Now, this is where I'm confused. Nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Cheerios and pretzel sticks.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Right.
Cheerios. Pretzel sticks. Shreddies.
Shreddies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. In the U.S., they make them with rice checks. Or Chex cereal.
Oh, yeah. Not wheat checks.
No.
Wheat checks are better. Just saying.
So, I like this to be nice and straight, and this is driving me bananas. I don't like crooked lines when things are supposed to be straight. Winging it doesn't work for me.
I'm pretty sure I made a coffee.
Well, I heard the coffee maker. You got the cookies, but you didn't bring your coffee now. Yeah. Silly boy.
That was my hip.
So I'm just going to quickly trace this little guy. This is just a fun little piece. I love these little, let's call this boxwood, for lack of a better term. I don't know what else you call them. It's based on boxwood. I just made it a little more open and a little more airy. I like this teardrop shaped leaf. And I wanted to stick with that sort of teal theme that's going with this. And so I chose desert cactus for the base color for these leaves. And then to carry that mermaid tail into the design, I used that for the shading color on these leaves. In case you're wondering why I used the colors that I used, that's why. So I have a great big old leg of lamb thawing upstairs. I'm getting ready. We're having Moroccan roast leg of lamb tomorrow for Christmas dinner instead of turkey. My guys are not huge fans of turkey. So this time of year, I will generally either do a roast chicken or duck if we decide on poultry. But usually it's prime rib or something along that line. But this year they specifically asked for a leg of lamb. And the lamb that I make is seasoned with cinnamon and cardamom. And there's a little splash of red wine, cooking wine, in the marinade. And I will put it on this afternoon to marinate, and it'll sit overnight in the refrigerator. And then tomorrow morning, it will go in a very slow oven until we are ready for dinner. But the house is going to smell like cardamom and cinnamon and nutmeg and whatnot. So, but leg of lamb it is. They were quite clear about their wishes that they wanted a leg of lamb. And almost done here. I'm going to show you a little trick. I use my shape makers. I think you've probably seen these. If I can find my shape maker. Okay. Of course, the only one I can find is the square. I was sure I had it here. Yes, I do have it here. So whenever I have things like eyeballs, things that have to be round, I use the shape maker. So the shape maker acts like a template, so I can get nice crisp lines, because it's virtually impossible to get perfectly round berries if you're trying to do it freehand. So I like to use my shape maker for this. And the other nice thing about the shape maker is that it, those circles come in a variety of sizes within the template. So it makes it easy to match it up to whatever circles are in your piece. And I do the same with the eyeballs The eyes and the buttons. Now, the polka dots on a scarf, you can use a stencil or you can paint them in individually, or you can leave them out and do them however you like. I kind of like using a stencil to do it, but it isn't absolutely essential. So I've got all my, don't forget the pom-pom. There we go. So, his funky little hat. And then don't forget his arm. His arm is just a little twig.
Oh, what I missed?
I don't know. And I think we have everything. Oh, no. Forgot the...
Oh, Deanna Swindlehurst does the same thing we do for Christmas Eve.
What's that?
Oh, they do it for Christmas Day, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they do appies.
Yeah, we do Appy's Christmas Eve.
Yeah. And then we have a very sacrilegious meal planned for
Roast
tomorrow.
lamb, yeah.
We're doing a roast of lamb.
That would only be sacrilegious if we had it on Easter. But yeah, so we're having a roast leg of lamb. We were already talking about that. So, I'm happy with this little guy. I think we got him all traced on there nicely.
Ooh. Well, welcome, Amanda. She says hi from Brazil.
Hi! Oh my goodness. Merry Christmas. So here is our little guy. I think he's super cute. I think he's super cute. So we're going to start by base coating this little fella. We're going to go with warm white. You can use a coat of gesso if you want to. But warm white will do the trick. Now, interestingly, I put a post up the other day in reference to, I think everybody has certain things that they love to use at Christmas time when they're crafting and painting and just decorating in general. One of my favorites is glamour dust. It is not one of Renee's favorites. He hates glitter. He has no soul. That's why he hates glitter.
Is that a ginger joke?
No, it is not. Really? Glass houses? Or,
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello. I don't make
It's
ginger jokes.
hereditary.
So this is just a fun little project. And again, you don't have to be meticulous. Because I'm going to show you, we're going to do something really easy.
Deanna is right there with me. It is Satan's dandruff.
Satan's dandruff, yeah.
Yeah. It should not sparkle.
Everything has to sparkle. So, what did I do with it? Honestly, I had it here.
Claudette doesn't have to cook Christmas dinner this year.
Woo! Somebody doing it for her?
I guess so.
See, I go through separation anxiety if I'm away from my kitchen at a holiday. Unless I can bring all the food with me.
Ooh, JL's got a good question.
What's that?
Does anyone know where I can find luster dust
Luster dust. Is that a...
for cooking? It's like a glitter for cooking.
Oh, actually, yes. I know the one she means. It's like a cake maker's... Where did I see it? I saw that recently. I don't know if Michael's has it or not, but I know Amazon has a lot of that stuff. I've been spending far too much time on Amazon looking at food things.
Deb Bloomfield, one year I put a Cornish hen inside her turkey. Let my granddaughter serve the bird. She let out a horrifying scream like a banshee. Grandma, this turkey was pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
That's not how turkeys birth.
No, it's a bird.
It's a bird. They lay eggs. Which still confuses me because we came from storks. I feel sorry for the stork.
You weren't too bad, but your sister was hefty.
What, is stork had sweating when she dropped her off, or?
There was a lot of screaming and crying involved.
That poor stork.
So this little guy does not need to be meticulously base coated because we're working on a lighter color anyway. So if you can get, a pretty decent base coat down, you're good. But don't sweat it if it's not perfectly opaque, because honestly, it doesn't really matter. By the time we're done. So, cute, huh? Yeah. So I'm going to do the same thing to the peppermint stick. Just a couple, like 1 or 2 light coats, and brush it on nicely so that you don't have to work so hard.
I can't hide the glitter. There's too much of it. And I don't dare touch it because I might get it on me. And then I'll be trying to get rid of it for days. And then I'll be on my dog. I thought it was hilarious when I found glitter on the dog.
Not half as funny as finding it on the cat.
You can't control the cat.
No.
But you can tell the paraplegic dog not to come downstairs.
That's true. That's very true. Gizmo, on the other hand, rolls around on the floor in the studio and goes upstairs sparkly.
I haven't seen him all day today.
Well, he was down. He did eat.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Incited the dog to chase him.
Candyland Crafts has an amazing selection of baking supplies. Probably has luster dust or something.
Or something like it, yeah. Okay. So my little fella has got... Okay, it's driving me nuts that I cannot find my glitter. Did you hide it?
I did not touch your glitter. As I said before.
I wouldn't be surprised if you did. There it is. That's why I couldn't find it. I put it where it belonged. Okay, so Glamour Dust is my go-to. I love this stuff. You sprinkle it on. It's nice and fine. It has a really pretty sparkle to it. You can mix this with snow tax. You can mix this with your paint, with a varnish. You can mix it with a bunch of things. It's fabulous. However, this is the glitter of the gods. This stuff is fantastic. It has a really nice low sheen. It's not a shiny, sparkly varnish, but it is absolutely loaded with the most gorgeous glitter. It's fabulous. So if you want to put a really nice finish on some of your ornaments and some of your decorations or Christmas presents or what have you, and protect the paint at the same time, this is the one you want. It's a Duraclear Galaxy Varnish. Love this stuff. It's what I used on all of my little RAK pins this year. I love that it has this great sparkle. I got 2 light coats, nothing major. And it just puts this really pretty little sparkle on there. It's perfect. Not over the top, big chunky glitter, but just enough to make everything sparkle. It's fabulous. So this one is available at Michael's. If you don't know where to find it, it is not with the glitter, it's with the varnishes, which means it's down on the lower shelf where they store all the varnishes. This stuff is fan-freaking-tastic. Love it. Especially if you don't like this type of glitter. You don't like the stuff you have to sprinkle on, this devil's dandruff, as you call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Satan's
Then
dandruff.
this stuff is just the bomb. It's awesome stuff. So the next thing we're going to do is base in his scarf here and his nose. Now, I did not use a traditional red for this scarf. I went with this. This is watermelon slice. It's sort of a pinky color. It's quite pretty. And I'm going to use a rigger to do this. Just because I can. And it is nicely opaque, so usually one coat of this is plenty.
Do you need to apply before you use the pens?
The glitter varnish, I spray everything beforehand anyway. So I varnish the very last. So if I'm using a pen on something, I will take it out to the garage and hit it with a light coat of Decor matte spray before I put on any kind of varnish, including this one. But I do love the look of this one in particular. So, as you can see, this one does not take long to prep, to get it ready for all the fun stuff. This is a really great red for holiday stuff, this watermelon slice, because it works with a lot of different things. It's more of a pink, like a pinky tone, than a red. I love this color, especially on my little snowman here. Easy peasy. So all of the red areas on this piece get painted with this same color. A little bit of watermelon slice, which seems like an odd color name for a color we're going to use on a Christmas piece.
I was gilding some small frames when my sable Burmese, oh, beautiful dog, decided to help. Gold from head to toe. Decided to have a bath. My husband was freaked out, and I asked him if he had ever heard of edible gold.
I was filming something for Decor a few years ago, and I had a head cold at the time. And I had a bowl full of spun gold flakes.
Oh, no.
And I sneezed.
Oh.
Now, when I sneezed, I scared the cat who was laying on the table at the same time.
Which cat?
Soot.
Oh, yeah.
I scared the cat when I sneezed. Of course, she bolted. She ran right through the cloud of gold. So I was covered in gold flakes, and the cat was covered in gold flakes, which, by the way, are metal, and so they were statically attracted to the cat.
Of course.
And as she ran up the stairs from the studio, she took with her a trail of gold flakes. I was vacuuming up gold for days. Days. I was covered in it. It took forever to get it off because it sticks like glue. So our little candy cane down here has got alternating stripes. I used the same red.
Judy is wondering, do you always use a medium of some kind or straight paint?
I usually use a medium. It's this one. You can see my ugly little jar. And this is my everything medium. I do almost everything with it.
Sometimes she does, sometimes she don't.
When I stop and think about it. I use this. It's a Joe Sonia's Fast Dry Glaze medium. And I use it like I would use water. So if I'm going to float, shade, thin my paint, do line work, whatnot, that's the medium that I use. So I'm just about there. I love that this watermelon slice is so nicely opaque. It goes on really, really nicely. And covers really well. And I'm almost there. I'm just gonna two more stripes. I don't know. I just think that this is a relaxing paint because it's not a difficult one, and it's not going to take us that long to do it either. So ideal for a quick little gifty. So we have.
What is a substitute for watermelon slice?
You know what? Use any kind of red. A nice cherry red would work. I just like the tone of it for this.
Barn red?
Barn red would be nice.
Yeah.
It would have a nice country tone to it. It's a little deeper, a little darker. Tomato red would work.
What you got there?
This is orange flame.
Orange flame.
Because we need a nose.
We need a carrot.
It needs a carrot. So I'm going to give him a nose. Now, unfortunately, this orange flame is very transparent. So I'm going to dry it and then put on another quick coat. And then I'm going to show you how I do all these buttons and eyes so that you're not driving yourself insane trying to get them painted. We're going to cheat a little bit. There we go. So now it's a good, nice little carrot. Carrot.
Whoa. What? Any tips for painting peppermint candy without a pattern? How to get the wedges?
Oh, to get the wedge.
Wedges.
You know what? I have a little trick for that. So I'll show you in just a second. It's where shape makers come in very handy.
My son is going cookieless this Christmas. What? How? What?
How? Why?
What? Is he in jail?
So, I've got a shape maker and a pencil. So I just choose the size of the candy that I want. And then I'm going to split the candy roughly in the middle. If you can, figure out where your center is. Like so. And then you're going to do this. So I've got a moon. And then I'm going to do it again. Make a little room here.
Made pork tamales.
Pork tamales.
Do not know if there will be any left for Christmas.
Tamales.
Oh man, cooked for the last 3 days. I'm pooped.
No doubt.
No kidding.
Now this is a rudimentary method. Okay, I messed it up. You know, because I'm not thinking clearly. I didn't plan to do this. Try it again, Trace. Okay, so I use my circle. There we go. Almost. I went ass backwards. You're only supposed to do half of it. There we go. Jeez Louise. See, I got all twisted up here.
Hey, gingerbread.
There we go. I knew I was doing this wrong. There we go. So that's how I get my little, of course it's not perfect because I didn't center it properly, but just use your always take this and go to that center part, and then you just use half of it. I was using the whole thing, and I got it all buggered up. I was thinking spirograph.
Spirograph. Okay.
Yeah. But yep, so that's, you have to find the center and work from the center. Like that. And then you can get these really nice little Christmas candies. There's a variety of different ways that you can do that. I like doing these. The little candy canes. The little circular ones drive me crazy because I can never get them absolutely the way I want them. So we're going to tackle all of our berries. I'm going to show you something. It's called, using your noodle. So we have all of these white berries to do. Grab a small stencil brush. And we're going to use a little bit of warm white. And you're going to line up so that you get the right size circle. And you're going to use that shape maker like a stencil. And you can go around and put your base coat on. Oop, need a slightly bigger one for this. Okay, dare I ask?
Sean,
Oh no.
you are going to laugh so hard.
If it's not PG, don't you dare. It's Sean, so.
I say poor Paris.
For Paris?
Paris, France.
Okay.
Oh, do we... Patrick,
Patrick.
2014, Christmas. Paul McCarthy.
Paul McCartney.
Carthy.
Carthy. Okay.
Paul McCarthy. Inflatable Christmas tree. You'll know exactly what I mean.
Okay.
That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
Now I gotta show her the picture. Because it's hilarious.
Okay. Definitely not PG. Oh my goodness. So, I got all my white berries, or white. Honestly, you're a heathen.
I am... Yes, yes, yes I am.
And for all of these the eyes and the buttons, we're going to do the same thing, but with a little bit of lamp black. This is just a faster, oh my goodness, faster way to get those buttons and whatnot base coated. I'm a firm believer. If you've got the tools to do something, use them. So I've got a little bit of lamp black on my brush. I need to find the right shape. It's right there. This is what's handy about these. So a little bit of lamp black. There's one eyeball. See what I mean? Nice and crisp and clean. Perfect little eyeballs. This little guy is super cute. So, a little bit of lamp black. We're going to do all three of those buttons this way. Just saves you a little time as far as base coating, and then also saves you a little frustration of trying to get these, perfectly round. And there we go. Perfect little eyeballs. Shape makers. I love shape makers. So the only base coat that we have left to do is all of those little leaves, which we're going to do with this. This is desert cactus. Thankfully, this color is reasonably opaque, so it doesn't take long. You don't have to recoat 5 million times to get nice firm base coats. And it can often be done in just 2 little strokes. Look at that.
Renee, what would it take to bribe you to share on a PG?
Oh, I can tell you honestly, it does not take much. But
I have very strong morals.
Yes, you do.
However,
He also has a very twisted sense of humor. Thank God. I love this color. This desert cactus is a great color. It's an odd green. It's got a little bit of blue in it. It's got a little bit of gray in it.
might have to zoom in here.
And it's a good color for this type of a color scheme, where I've gone with something a little bit more muted. So it's not an in-your-face color scheme. So it is ideal for this. And it is a cooler green, so it works really well for this in particular.
Oh, Stacy Katz is wondering, how do you clean a stencil so it doesn't bend or get distorted?
Ah, that's an easy one. One, cool water. Don't use hot water to clean a stencil. Mylar will stretch when it's heated. That's why you end up with buckling and rippling and stencils that won't lay flat. Make sure you use cool water. 2, get yourself a piece of plexiglass, plate glass, or a big old ceramic tile and wet your stencil. Stick it to that and then use your stencil cleaner on it. It should be laying perfectly flat when you're cleaning them. And then one of the best tips that I can give you is to use your stencil brush to clean your stencil. So hit it with some stencil cleaner and then scrub it with your stencil brush.
Pizza and beer in a foxhole on the taxpayer's dime, and you're worried about morals? Yes. We have morality. We have a code of ethics. And we were using our own money to buy the pizza and beer. Though the taxpayers pay us. What I do with my money is my business.
That's a fact.
And I wanted beer in a foxhole. Can't do that nowadays.
No, that's those days are long gone.
Did you hear about the airborne guy who got his smacked? His last jump.
Okay.
His last jump, he cracked a beer while he was...
Oh, that would get his knuckles wrapped?
And got his knuckles wrapped for it.
Yeah.
He had already been out of the military for a few years before he posted that video.
Okay.
So he was like, he was done. He was done already. And it was just, hey, that was a fun moment in my military career.
Yeah. So, I've got my leaves. So he does not take a whole lot of time to do prep work.
How did the pizza guy find you? Most of the time, pizza delivery guys near a CF base,
Yeah, they know.
they don't just know, but they're also former trained soldiers.
Yeah.
So they can take a grid reference, take out an old map of the training area and go, they're right there.
Yeah.
They'll find you.
So the little branch, his arm, is just a little bit of asphaltum. Super simple.
Good chicken dog.
So we are ready for all of the fun stuff. And this part really does go quite quickly. Now, I have all of the little circles already traced on there, but I'm going to use my little template and my stencil brush. Now, these polka dots don't need to be even remotely perfect. So I'm just going to line up my little stencil, my little shape maker, with the dots that I've already got drawn on there. And I'm just going to give them a light coat, nothing major. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're just getting them on. I love polka dots. Polka dots are one of my favorite patterns to put on things. They're cute. And as I said, they don't need to be perfect for this application. They're just to create a little bit of interest and pattern on this scarf. So I just line them up a little bit. You could use that 1/8 polka dot stencil if you wanted to put that in. It's entirely up to you. I kept mine as simple as possible, and I'm going to put just a few on his hat. Again, I'm not looking for perfection. I'm not really concerned about that. I just want a little bit of pattern on this hat. One of the fun things about stencils is that you can quickly put a design element together with minimal fuss. There we go. So we got polka dots. There we are. So his little hat's got polka dots. His scarf has polka dots. And I'm going to dry this, and then we are ready. This little guy is not going to take very long. And I think he's cute. I think he's really cute. So I'm going to grab my round, a little bit of warm white. I was looking at my little pom-pom here. It's looking a little peaky. So quickly put just a nice little coat of white. Nothing too neat and tidy. And then we're going to start shading this little fella. Now, our shading color for this is Bahama Blue. I have used blues extensively through this, and all blues in the same kind of family. So Bahama Blue still has that teal undertone that we've been using in everything. My painting table is an absolute disaster. I've got stuff everywhere. So Bahama Blue is our shading color. We're going to put a little of that. Oh, goodness. I'm telling you, I should have started with the smaller brush. Instead, I went to the bigger one. So I need to fix that. But in the meantime, I'll come back to that. I'm going to use a little of that Bahama Blue. I'm going to shade this little guy, but I'm leaving just a little sliver of white at the edge. Just a sliver. I don't want a wide swath of white there, but just a sliver. All the way around. Just like so. And then we're going to come underneath the scarf, just like that. We want a nice little shadow. So we've got a nice little round belly. And I need to fix, because I whoopsied. Right out of the gate, I messed this up. Right there. So just take a little bit of warm white, touch that up. And then I'm going to switch to a smaller angled shader, which I should have done in the first place, but was feeling cocky. So we're going to put a nice little float of Bahama Blue right along the edge of the scarf, right there. And around his nose. And then on the right side of the eyeball, we're going to put a float of Bahama Blue. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one. And we're going to do the same thing around the buttons. Now, I like to leave that narrow little space, just separating that little shadow from the button. So we've got a nice little float around there. And then we're going to come across underneath the brim of the hat with the same mixture. Just like so. So his face is going to look a little bit blue for a little bit. We are going to fix that. Remember that stencil brush that I used with the warm white? You can do this. If it gets a little too blue, just take your stencil brush and just tap a little bit of warm white in between his lookers there. So now he has a white forehead. Super cute. Now we're going to come up to his pom-pom. And I'm going to put a float on his pom-pom with that Bahama blue. Because it helps if I get the brush loaded properly. Again, I come in from the edge just slightly. I want a little sliver of white showing. Just like that. Tiny little sliver of white. We're going to do the same thing to all of those white berries. Leave a little sliver of that white showing. Little float of Bahama blue. It's a C stroke, so it's C-shaped. This is just going to give our white berries a nice round orb shape as opposed to just a circle. I want this to have that nice orb shape. So we have berries.
Yeah, berries.
Now I'm going to deepen a shadow here a little bit. I want to get around this leaf. And there. Now we've got a little shadow on this side of his face. I'm going to deepen it a little bit. I'm going to clean out my brush. And I'm going to pick up a little bit of asphaltum. And I do mean just a tiny little bit of that brown. And I'm going to blend it out so it's very, very thin. I do not need its full strength. And this is the color I'm going to use to deepen those shadows.
Karen is wondering what is the purpose of leaving the white sliver?
The white sliver implies light passing behind it. So what you're seeing is part of the shadow, but also the light on the other side. So it helps intensify the look of the three-dimensional shape. So all of that Bahama blue gets deepened with a weak float of asphaltum. And I'm leaving that little sliver of white. And it is just a sliver, not a lot of white showing. So now they take on even more of that orb shape.
Balmy West Oregon.
What? Now I'm going to grab some titanium white, I think. Maybe not. I thought I had some here. Nope. How many bottles of... Okay, fine. I will use cool white instead.
Cool white.
Have to shake the living daylights out of it because it tells you how often I use cool white. But it'll work for this. Oh my gosh. So a little bit of cool white on my palette. Oof. Not sure how it happened, but I managed to lose a brush. Like within, oh, there it is. Jeez. So I'm using a little bit of cool white. You can use titanium white. I just can't find my bottle of titanium white.
That is so true.
What's that?
That cookie tin.
What cookie tin?
The sewing kit.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the there's cookies in the sewing kit.
So when you put that float of warm white on, you're going to start where that shadow stops. And again, so a little bit of warm white. So look at, you get this nice orb shape. Now for this piece, because these berries are white, they're subtle. It's just a shape back there. And subtle is good. Do I? When you chuckle like that, I worry.
You should look.
It's terrible. Sick and twisted. So I've done the same thing to all of those berries. Just use that little bit of cool white, titanium white, to put my highlight on the opposite side. And then I can use my rigger. And we're going to put a dot of warm white on the upper left side of each berry. Now I know it's white on white on white, right? But you need that little dot of highlight. And on this little guy, I want to put just a little comma stroke just to make him nice and bright.
Why do I want this sticker?
I don't know.
It says I neither have the time nor the crayons to explain it to you. Wow.
It's a bit harsh.
Warning, beware of Dave. Not responsible for injury or death.
Okay.
Okay. These are some pretty good stickers. CPR certified. I'm pretty confident my last words will be, well, that didn't work.
I love this little guy. I think he's fun.
I'm here because you broke something.
Yeah, it's the repair guy.
I'm sending that to Sean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it says world's okayest.
Okayest, okay.
Okayest welder.
Ah. So everything that I did with the asphaltum on those little white berries, I'm also going to do on my little snowman here. I'm going to deepen that shadow on one side of his face. A little bit under the hat. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the blue surrounding his belly. It's just deepening it a little bit. And underneath his scarf. I'm just softening it a little bit with the mop.
Warning, this machine does not know the difference between metal and flesh, nor does it care.
Ouch.
Yee.
So again, I'm just deepening a couple of little shadows. And then we're going to take that asphaltum a little stronger this time. We're going to put a shadow along the bottom of the nose, the bottom half of that carrot. Just like that. So now he has a knee. The knee. So we do have giveaways. We always have giveaways. In order to get in on those, what you're going to need to do is to share the live, share it on Facebook, share it on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, send us a like, or join us in the chat area. All of those things. So, little highlight on the nose, little float of warm white, just nothing fancy, just a little one. And then while you have that warm white, thin it out a little bit. You don't want this full strength for this part. So thin it out quite a bit. We're going to put a highlight on the left side of the eyeballs. It's a weak float of warm white, not quite that weak. Can't see it. There we go. So nice little float of warm white on the left side. Again, leave that little space. It's got a nice little highlight there. And we're going to do the same thing to the buttons. Just like so. So it's not a really over-the-top highlight. It's a nice soft one. And we're going to take a little bit of that warm white, again, on the tip of your brush. And just in from the edge, you're going to add that little bright dot. And this is where this little guy just comes to life. He starts to really take shape when he's got eyeballs. Makes all the difference in the world when your eyeballs have light in them. So, which brings us to the shading on the right side of the eyeballs and the right side of those buttons. I'm going to do that with a little bit of that asphaltum. I'm going to put a nice little shadow on both sides. Just deepens the shadow around buttons, just gives them a little more dimension, makes them sit up a little. So they're not just flat sitting there. Gives the eyes a little bit of elevation, like they're doing something.
I saw a shirt that said, "Talking behind my back means you..." Lost it. You're smart enough not to say it to my face.
Okay.
Wow.
So now we can start adding some dimension to this scarf. And don't forget, we have to do that peppermint stick. Now, my color of choice for this is a little bit of Prussian blue. And it's a scary color because it's very dark and it's a very strong color. So we're going to adjust it a little bit. And that means I'm going to take a little of my Prussian blue on my brush. Just a little. Again, much like I do with the asphaltum, I thin it out quite a bit. You don't want this color full strength because it's a bit much. And we're going to put our first shading on our scarf right there. And that just separates our scarf. And then down this center vein to separate those two strands. And don't panic, we're going to be doing this a bit more yet. And to separate the band of the hat from the tail. And then we're going to put a nice little shadow on this side.
Is Bob undercover?
No, he's here somewhere.
Bob's trying to stay warm.
I don't know where Bob went. He was here. He's here somewhere. So little shadow around the pom-pom. And then whatever you do on that side, you have to do a little bit on the other side. So just a narrow little float on this side. Just narrow. So now that I've established all of those shadows, I'm going to start deepening them a little bit. Now on that scarf, you can take a little bit of that Prussian blue and mix it with just a touch of that watermelon slice. It'll give you a deep purple. And that's what you're going to deepen your shadows with, is just this little purple. Like so. And then we're going to put a little highlight on our scarf. Now there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can float this in, or you can dry brush it in. I'm going to float this a little bit. I'm just going to bring a little of that warm white across the top edge of my scarf right here. And those edges here on the tail, just that little float. Don't worry about getting it perfect. It doesn't matter. It's just a light little highlight. If you're more comfortable dry brushing it in, by all means. Now, where's that breaker? So our scarf needs a little texture. I like doing it this way. We're going to do this with a couple little dots, just dots at the edge, like so. And then once we finish all of that, we'll do all of our line work at the end.
Please go to your nearest neurologist to check for FBD, frozen brain damage. If you're missing the cold, it's possible you're a victim.
Oh. So, peppermint stick. This one's super easy.
Where's the thin green line?
What's in green line?
There's always a thin green line in peppermint sticks.
Not in this one.
Why not?
I don't know.
So it's not a peppermint stick.
Okay. So I'm going to put a float of that Prussian blue, because I'm a rocket scientist today, apparently. Float of Prussian blue is going to come in. Leave that little sliver. I did not. The first pass messed it up. All the way up. Right to the bottom of our snowman. There is a thin sliver. Left that little space. That is thinned Prussian blue. And then we're going to put a highlight down the other side with a float of warm white. Again, I'm coming in from the edge, just a little. Right over everything. Over the blue, over the white, over the red. And I'm going to dry it.
Why do closed captions not work anymore? I have no idea. It
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
completely depends on Facebook.
So now I'm going to grab my little tiny, I've got a 0 rigger here. You can use a liner. You can use a 10-aught extra long detail liner. I'm going to use my little rigger here. And we're going to put in a stroked highlight just in from the edge of that float all the way down. So there is your bright highlight.
Oh my.
What?
Another piece with no lettering. Really?
Not everything has to have lettering on it.
That's true, but
I know, it's unusual for
it's
me.
unusual.
So the only thing that we really have left to do for this little guy is these leaves. So I've got a little bit of mermaid tail, which is that same color that we did on the outside edges.
The bunny leaves?
Bunny leaves. And we're going to put a float of that mermaid tail at the base of each of these leaves where it joins the stem. And it doesn't have to be neat and tidy either. It's just a little float.
Yeah. Only a dog could show up to a Christmas party empty-handed, speak to no one, and still be the most popular guest.
Yep, that's true. So that little bit of that teal color changes how that green works in this piece. Are you listening to Elmo? Good gravy.
It's the more adult version of Elmo.
Okay. Watch
Still
that,
Elmo.
Watch that PG rating.
I was... That's why it was down here and not near the microphone.
So that little float down at the end, it helps enhance the curve of these leaves. But it also brings all of these colors into line. So we've had that sort of teal has been the overriding theme of this piece because we've used teal in everything. The peacock teal for that background. We shaded the edges with the mermaid tails. We've tried to carry that tone throughout this piece. Even our little snowman has got Bahama blue, which is a teal in it. And then we're shading these leaves with a little bit of mermaid tail. And that carries the color as well. So I'm going to dry this really quickly. We just have a little bit of work left to do here. And then we're going to talk about some of the embellishments because let's face it, half the fun is getting to do the finishing touches. So I'm going to get out my 10-aught extra long detail liner. This is a Dynasty Micron. And I'm going to thin out a little bit of that mermaid tail. I do love this color. And this is the color we're going to use to connect all of these leaves. So I'm starting at the base of the leaf and using my liner to draw in all of my stems. I'm a fan of these liners for a couple of different reasons. One, the barrel handle is very comfortable. So it helps you make some really nice smooth lines with very little effort. There we go. Super easy. And it surprisingly, even though it's a liner, holds a fair amount of paint. Most liners I find run out in just 2 seconds after you've loaded them. They just seem to not hold anywhere near enough paint. But these ones actually hold paint quite well. And we want a nice fine line on this. We don't want big, heavy, hard. There we go. And I've got one more thing I wanted to do to this. I wanted to bring these lines down. Everything needs and should connect as far as I'm concerned. Visually, it makes a difference. So we're going to put a little highlight on the tips of these leaves because it's frosty and it's cold and they need to look like they're frosty. So I'm thinning out a little bit of warm white because I don't want this to be too dark. And we're just going to put a little float right at the tip of these leaves. That little bit of frostiness, that little cool, little bit of white at the tip just makes these leaves tie really nicely to the temperature of the piece. I just think he's fun. He's not a difficult piece to paint. And certainly not a difficult one to prep. So there is just our little floats at the tips of those leaves. Just gives them a frosty look. Thin out that warm white so that you're not burying everything that you've just worked so hard to create. Thin it out. And there we go. So next, we're going to start working on some of the embellishments. So one of my favorites on this is these laser cut little snowflakes. They're so much fun just to add a little interest to pieces. You don't have to use those type. If you've got little wooden ones, I've got these ones from Southern Ridge Trading. I do love these. And I love these little tiny ones as well. These can also be used. These are also laser cut. They're a little more delicate, a little more difficult to handle because they are quite delicate, but they're absolutely beautiful and they're super easy to apply. Now I have some prepped, of course, because it's me. So I have a little bit already prepped. I have some that are painted and glittered already. So we can use from here. Or you can use those other little laser cut ones. I am a fan of these. I just think these are very elegant. So you can just lay a few out to decide if that's the way you want to go. I think these are pretty. But I think this piece is more in keeping with something a little simpler. And so that was one of the reasons that I went with these little laser cut ones here. I have these. These are 5/8 and 1/2 inch little snowflakes that are laser cut. We've got a bunch more of these coming. We sold out very, very quickly. So I've got these wonderful little things. I think they're just so stinking cute. And they're perfect for this. I find that this style actually fits in very well with the style of the painted piece. So I've got, I have 6 here, but I'm only going to use 4 or 5, I think. And then I have the little tiny ones too, which are also, these ones here are 1/2 inch. These are 5/8. So, I mean, you can add as many or as few as you want, or not at all. If you don't feel like doing them, they don't have to go on there. So I'm going to do 3, and then I'll keep the little tiny one for the tag. So I'll put that back in its proper sphere. And I'm going to take these pre-glittered ones and put those away, because I think they're a little over the top for this piece. But that's all right. Okay. So these are super easy to paint. You're going to take a little bit of white paint on your fingertip and just tap it on. The reason I did it this way is I really like the texture that it creates on them.
Finger painting.
Finger painting. So a little bit of white.
Do you have those back in stock?
Not yet. They will be in, but I'm hoping before the new year. They did not stay in stock very long, and I had 100 of them. Obviously, 100 was not enough. So
100 little snowflakes?
I had a
Or
bag
100?
of 100 of these, and I had 36 of the other ones, and they were in and out of here like,
Gone.
yeah, poof. So I have them ordered. And then we've got this little guy here. This one's got a couple of little bits that the... So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I love that you can do this. Just tap the paint on with your fingers.
Jessica had to take off.
Well, people got things to do today.
Yeah. Go be with your family.
Yep. So I've got my favorite adhesive here somewhere. There we go. It's my favorite. I love this. It's Aileen's Tacky Glue. This is the clear gel. I like this one because it doesn't run or slide. And so I'm just going to choose a couple of locations to put my snowflakes. Here we go. And I just drop them in. Just like so. And I can set that aside to dry. And I got to keep this little guy handy because he's going on my tag. So I'm going to set this one aside for the time being, and we're going to go get my tag out of the mound of stuff I have here. Honestly. I have little tags, big tags, wooden tags. You know, I got a whole bunch of stuff. So I took a piece of cardstock and cut out the tag that is outlined in the line drawing. And I cut it out of cardstock. Now, there's a couple of things that you can do with this. This was my answer. I just did something as simple as possible because I like it simple. I just don't see the point in making things difficult for yourself. So I broke out my favorite stamps, which is this great little set from Amazon. And I've got my tag. I got a little angled shader, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of asphaltum. And I'm just going to float around the outside edges of my tag with a little bit of asphaltum. And again, neatness doesn't really count for this. It's a tag. So I wanted, something fairly rustic around the outside edge. And then I'll just put a little more in the middle because I want it darker at the edges. And that's it. So I have my sort of brownish aged tag.
That's what I'm going to do.
What?
I'm going to have to grab a slice of the tortilla
Okay.
for work tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
Because I got very confused looks from a Romanian friend
Okay.
who's replacing me
Okay.
tomorrow. So
Well,
I get to be alone in the art gallery by myself. Christmas morning.
so I'm going to grab my snowflake stencil because I kind of like this snowflake. And I want to put a white snowflake on my tag. So I use my stencil and a stencil brush. And again, neatness doesn't count. Perfection is to be avoided at all costs. We're just putting a little pattern on there. Ta-da! Got a snowflake. You could do this with a little bit of gesso too if you wanted to, and a palette knife. Just put a little texture on there. Look how pretty. And then we're going to use my little stamp pad. And you can put it on whatever you want. In this particular case, we went with Let It Snow. It should say, please. I want lots of snow.
Cindy's wondering if you got that stamp set from Amazon.
I did. And it was a great deal at the time. I don't know what they are right now, but I managed to get them for next to nothing. They were $20 for this set. And I need a W.
And how do you clean your stamps? Your little stamps.
My little stamps, they get like a baby wipe or an alcohol wipe every once in a while. That's about it. So I'm going to just stamp Let It Snow. If I can find all my letters. LT. I didn't take any. So let
Prime rib is being rubbed as we watch.
oh my.
Thanks to my sweet hubby. I can't get my stamp letters straight and spaced correctly. Any tips?
No, because mine aren't spaced correctly either. I just stamp them, get them as even as I can.
What is this particular stamp set called?
This one is called Alphabet and Number and Symbol Stamp Set.
Very generic.
Very generic, yes.
But it did come in a nice case.
Came in a nice little case. This one is just fantastic. There we go.
It's a little pine box
Yeah,
that I'm
it's-
pretty sure has been rubbed down with linseed oil.
Yeah, sure looks like it. Yeah, it's just a little inexpensive box set, but what makes it so versatile is the fact that it has everything. It's not just an alphabet set. It has all of the punctuation. It has all of
I'm
the
just going to move the camera over so
the
you can see
numbers.
it.
This is a great little set. And it was in the $20 to $25 range. It was absolutely a great purchase. If I had one complaint, it's they stamped the top of the dark wood with black letters, so it's really hard to see. That's the only downside, quite honestly. It's a great little stamp set, especially considering the price. So I've got my oh, come on, get in there. This is the other downside. There we go. So great little set. So I stamped my tag with Let It Snow, and I have one of these little snowflakes,
Hopefully that worked.
and I'm going to put a little dab of glue up top here, just like that. And I'm going to put my little snowflake right there.
Renee, behave yourself in the art gallery. Don't be drawing on the paintings.
Yeah, with a Sharpie, putting mustaches on the portraits. How to lose your job in one easy step. How about
Funny
Jeff?
story.
Is it now?
There was a Russian security guard at the National Russian Art Gallery who got fired for fixing a painting.
Oh, yes.
He fixed it quite well
Yes, but he wasn't trained.
to its original form.
Uh,
However, he was a security guard,
yeah,
not a painting restorer or
yeah,
what is it? Preparator.
yeah. So I'm going to use a little bit of warm white, spatter my tag, because it needs snow. And I'm going to set that aside. We're going to grab our little guy here, and I'm going to do the same thing. I like snow. So we're going to have lots of snow on our little guy.
It is on sale for $6.99 on Amazon right now.
For $6.99?
$16.99.
$16.99. It is. It's worth it. More than worth it.
At $16.99 US.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad. So again, I'm just spattering with some snow because I like snow on things. And I'm going to dry this really quick because I need to age the edge and then I'll show you how I'm finishing this.
Yeah. So unlike most security guards in our art gallery, I actually know the exact value of each painting, or have access to the exact values of each painting. I'm not. I keep my distance from a lot of them. So,
Yeah.
just out of fear.
Yeah.
And if I do have kids in the future, they're not going to college if I do mess one up. And probably their kids.
Their kids.
And their kids.
So I have a little bit of, I love this. This is baker's twine. I have it in a variety of colors, but I'm kind of obsessed with this red and white, and it ties in nicely with our little lollipop here. So I made up my tag. Now, at this point, you could take your favorite varnish, like I am. I don't have any other inks or anything in this piece, so I'm not too worried about it. Ordinarily, wow, English is the second language today. I would take this out to the garage and give it a light spray, but in this particular case, I'm not going to do that. I don't have anything other than acrylics on here. So I want to, this one I still have to take all the graphite lines off of, but I'm going to take a little of my Galaxy varnish. Eek! Ah, there we go. And I'm just going to brush a little bit of that Galaxy varnish over top of my tag, dab a little onto the snowflake. And then the only reason I did that was just to get a little sparkle on there and to appease my son who hates glitter, so we don't have glitter everywhere.
Yay.
So we both win. I get sparkle and he doesn't get glitter. It's all happy. So I've got a little bit of that sparkle on the tag, which is what I wanted. I wanted the sort of that wintry look. And I'm going to grab my big angled shader again.
Karen Wilson, Galaxy varnish? Question mark?
Oh, I love Galaxy varnish.
So it's a clear varnish with glitter in it.
Yeah. And I'm going to float my edges with a little bit of asphaltum. I know you're shocked.
Gasp.
So just a little. It just deepens the edges slightly. And it is quite weak. I'm not putting a ton of it on there. I don't want a ton. But it just deepens the edges of this a little bit.
Your big mouth may cause you to have company tomorrow.
Who?
Yeah, it's a giant concrete bunker. Good luck. The unwanted guest we had last time was a squirrel.
There we go.
No, sorry, it wasn't a squirrel. It was a chipmunk.
Chipmunk.
How he got in, I think it was during the construction phase. So
Yeah.
it was kind of funny. Watching three grown men chasing after this tiny little...
Why do you chase a chipmunk? You can't catch him.
We did.
With what?
Garbage can.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
We caught him,
not easily.
and then we took him outside.
Yep. So I'm going to take my baker's twine. And I'm going to fold it in half. I've got a good length here. Probably about 3 feet. And I'm going to make a little loop, pass it through the tag. Comme ça. Oops, missed one. Oh, come on. There we go. So I've got a nice little loop that holds the tag. And then I'm going to take my... I want this to hang about there. So take that double loop and just loosely go around like so. I don't want it too tight. And then I'm going to split this off and then tie it in the back. Just pass it underneath.
My daughter had a squirrel get in her van this week. I think she's still a little traumatized.
Imagine.
I had a pet squirrel.
Yep.
Only for about a week.
It was actually closer to 2 weeks.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we only had him for 2 weeks or so.
So I take that off. And so we've got, okay, no, it doesn't want to do it. There we go.
Hey, boom.
Hey, boom. Now, to finish this, I do the same thing with this kind of thing that I do with all my ornaments. I use one of these gold paint pens to finish the edges so that I have a nice sparkly finish all the way around. Comme ça. These Deco color gold paint pens are just fantastic for this type of thing. I love them for this. They're less expensive than some of the ones you find at Home Depot or at Michael's, and they work just as well and they last forever. I use mine constantly, and I think I just replaced one for the first time in 2 years. So just look at how nicely that finishes everything off when you have that little bit of gold around the outside edge. Now, if you want to, you can tip the pen a little bit, put a gold border all the way around the outside if you like. But honestly, I don't think you really need it. And there we go. That is our little Let It Snow snowman tag. I think he's fun.
All right. I just got to get the wheel ready here.
Yeah.
Just make sure I get the right one.
So I've got, while he's doing that, I'm going to, I wanted to show you something. So if the little gift tags, like this little guy here, I know that this one is chipboard. These ones are from Southern Ridge Trading. They're, chipboard could get a little pricey, but these are actually a really nice surface to paint on. But you can actually make a replacement for that, and this is how I did it. I just took my line drawing for my tag, just traced the outline onto my watercolor paper. This is a 140 weight. And then I repeated that next to it. So the two of them share a line, and then cut them out like this. And then if you score that line with a palette knife, or if you have a stylus, whatnot, just score that line. Then you're able to fold it like so. And then decoupage the two pieces together. Punch a hole in it. And you have a nice rigid surface to make these fun little tags. Super easy, super inexpensive. And you can usually do 2 of these out of a single 8.5 by 11 sheet. So it's an inexpensive way to make those little tags. It's a great way to bang those out. Now, the pattern for this has all of the line drawings for a whole bunch of things. I kind of got a little carried away. So there's I think 3 designs for the mitten in there with various cookies. We have the snowman, we have gingerbread, and then we have, I think, 2 or 3 gingerbread and 2 or 3 snowman. I got a little carried away. And then there's a bunch of tag designs. There's also a bunch of like the little wooden cutting boards, and tags and coasters. I think there's 11 line drawings in this pattern. I got a little carried away. Oh, look at that. The graphic has got little stockings on it. That's cute.
Yeah. Yes.
So, you got the wheel going yet?
I have 212 names.
Wow. 212. That's a lot of people to join us on Christmas Eve. I'm glad you did. This is a fun way to relax a little bit before all of the madness begins in a couple of hours and all the family starts to show. It's going to be a fun evening, but oh my goodness, I guess.
There's a lot of names.
It is a lot of names. So he's going to hit the spin button. I'm going to tell you about the prizes in it today. There is a print pattern in there, an electric eraser from Moustache, which is a Canadian company. They do all sorts of cool things.
Yvonne Diane.
Yvonne Diane. So we're sending another package to Australia.
I guess so.
And there is a 5-brush set of Dynasty Black Gold, all of the texturing brushes, the Fandango, a couple of, I think it's a rake, really nice rake, some wave brushes, and a fountain brush. It's a beautiful brush set.
Yvonne Diane.
So we have 3 of those to give away. Plus there's some other goodies. We always throw other goodies in there. And I'm loving my zombie cookie.
And Rosalind Arrigo?
I can't see it yet.
Rosalind
Arrigo.
Arrigo.
Arrigo. Lovely. So if your name is drawn for one of these, don't forget to go over to the website at tracymoreau.net and click on the little speech bubble in the lower right-hand corner of the home page and send us a message with your shipping information. It helps us get your goodies out to you as quickly as we can.
There we go. Somebody's getting a nice little Christmas gift.
Yep. We got one more to give away.
One more. We got to remove that name. Boom. And here we go. Who do we got? I'm gonna laugh if it's Judy.
If it's Judy Thacker, that would be very funny.
Valerie Clemens.
Excellent. Excellent. And if you are a member of my membership, my paid membership group, don't forget, Tuesday, December 27th, we have a live class, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the YouTube channel.
I can't see the chat right now.
And this was a fun way to spend a couple of hours with you guys before the madness of the holiday starts. I'm calling it the madness because that's usually what it is. It is fun. Wouldn't miss it for the world. But in the meantime, I hope that all of you please stay safe and thoroughly enjoy your time with family and friends over the holidays. And hopefully those of you that have suffered some losses this year, I hope you find a little bit of peace. It's hard. Grieving is hard. And the first Christmas is a really tough one. And I feel for you because we have been there. So my best to you and to your families, and you have my love and my thanks for a great year because we've had so much fun doing this, and it will continue. The madness continues.
The madness continues.
So, Valerie Clemens, Rosalind Arrigo, and
Yvonne Diane.
Ladies, your goodies will be in the mail first thing Monday, I believe.
Yvonne, you probably won't see it until 2023.
No.
Yeah. It sounds like it's further away than it actually is.
Yeah, you'll get your present next year. Unfortunately, this little guy has already been spoken for.
Who's that going to?
Oh, who else? Miss Deb.
Of course, Miss Deb. Yeah.
That's because she has to send me her boot.
Oh, right. I saw the boot.
You saw the boot. I want the boot. She can have the snowman.
She can have the snowman.
I'm holding it hostage.
Oh, so you're trading. They're like playing cards.
Okay. No, well, you can call it that. It's more like extortion, but okay.
Oh, extortion. Blackmail.
Yeah, it is. Did you have anything you want to say before we
Pet your dog.
pet your dog? Okay, that's it.
Yeah,
Pet your
pet your
No
dog.
Merry Christmas. No
Okay,
Happy Holidays.
don't just pet your dog. If you don't have a dog, pet your cat.
Yeah. Pet your
They need
goldfish.
love too.
Yeah. Pet your goldfish.
Okay.
I'm not sure how you would do it, but
No.
pet your goldfish.
Pet your goldfish.
Rub your hand over the outside of his bowl or something. I don't know.
Crystal ball.
Crystal ball. Make a wish.
Let your dog have it. Don't drink and drive.
He definitely
That's
do
a
not
big
drink
one.
and drive.
Don't drink and drive.
Such originality.
I know. Originality
I put
flows
him on
through
the
me.
spot. Yep.
Pet your horse? Yeah, pet your horse.
So, couple of thank yous to everybody that has donated throughout the year to the Super Chat for our local SPCA. Thank you
Yes.
so much. It might not seem like much to you, but it makes a huge difference at the shelters. It's just, one more puppy gets a spay, one more cat gets a spay.
Yeah.
Somebody gets the vaccination they need, or somebody gets the health care that they need, because they do get injured animals quite frequently.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for supporting our efforts towards that. We really do appreciate it. And thank you for supporting the website and for supporting us by coming and joining us every Saturday. If you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so, or think about doing so. Hit the big subscribe button and the bell notification so you get notifications when we go live or when we have new video posted. And
I think the goal for before the end of 2023 should be 10,000 subscribers.
really,
I think that's
is it a reasonable?
I think it's a reasonable goal.
Okay.
We're already almost close to
Yeah, I suppose.
6,000, so I think 10,000 is
10,000 is not unreasonable.
not unreasonable.
Okay.
Now, if I went, hey, you know what? 100,000.
100,000? That would be a little unreasonable.
That's baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps. So, in and all of that, we couldn't do this without your support, and we love doing it, and we love that you love coming here every Saturday and watching the foolishness that we get up to. So, because we do. So, having said all of that, I hope that you have a wonderful Christmas, and we will see you next Saturday. New Year's Eve. You wearing a party hat?
Maybe.
Maybe. Not that anybody would ever see it, but
No, I'm behind the camera.
yeah. All right, guys, go and have a great Christmas with your families. We love you. Mwah. Please stay safe.
Pet your dog.
Pet your dog.
How come it's not working?
What's not working?
That is not.
What?
Oops.
Oops. It did not cut us off. Apparently not, because I have that sort of stunned look on my face.
Yeah. I don't know.
What's going on?
I don't know. It won't end. Why won't you end? Oh, this is awkward.
It's awkward. It is awkward.
Let's try this. Hi.